great intro, Al.
I think I love it.
So
It's
good.
it's so perfect for us. I
It's
love
so good.
the song. It's weird. I made I, it- I could probably show the video at some point, but I made that song. It's weird when I go back and look at the videos and songs that I made because that one is really I'll show the video at some point, but it's about like being a young person and then growing up and like losing your joy in life.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's like it's weird. I go back and look at these videos and I wonder like what kind of headspace I was in.
Yeah.
So what up, girl?
What's up? Hey, everybody. We're just seeing you. ELC, Marcy, it's good to see you. Lucy, happy hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day. That commercial was really
Tori, how was
transformative.
work today?
Oh my God. So 2 things. 1, I got to meet someone in a shark costume. Like they were, you know what I mean? But
I understand the concept, yes. Why did you do that?
So if you guys go to Ziggy's Coffee, they're giving, which is a place where you can get dirty sodas. And when I said this, I said, dirty soda. It sounds like that's what mine kind is vodka. Okay. And anyway, it turns out it's like now
Is it a Mormon
sodas.
thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like that where you mix it with coconut and cream and all this stuff. And it's Shark Week. So they brought a shark in a shark costume. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. It's so nice. And I did ask if she was left shark. But anyway, I got to meet the shark and make some cool Shark Week drinks. And then we had Johnny Pops. I don't know if you've had those out. They're really healthy popsicles. And they're going to be in all
kind
these
of popsicles.
yeah. But these tasted really good. And they started in a dorm room in St. Olaf. And now
Wait, isn't that where Rose was from?
That's what I said on the show.
Okay. From Golden Girls.
Yeah, that's what I said, Al. I love you. And so we did Johnny Pops. And then I got to meet a woman who during chemo for stage 4 metastatic, I always get it wrong, breast cancer. She has a 1-year-old at home. She started We Got This. Yeah, she started wegotthis.org, and it's a registry. If you have cancer or a friend, you can register for things. There's resources, and I don't know. The show is so cool, and they're gonna let me start a book club, you guys, a Tori Stories, and they're gonna let me do a mental health talk once a week with mental health experts.
I love that. I like that they're kind of giving you the reins. I think that's beautiful.
Yes. It's called Taking Inventory, and we're going to do some grief work and I want to normalize that for morning TV. You know what I mean? So anyway,
right.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I really want to make it my own. So
I think if we learn nothing else from DBL, that we have a lot of viewers. I think everybody's suffering from grief. That's kind of unfortunately universal. Yeah. But I think there are a lot of people at home that are taking care of other people.
Caregiving.
And don't do a good job of taking care of themselves mentally because they're so giving and taking care of an older relative or somebody that has special needs or whatever it may be.
Totally.
And there is a selflessness in the kind of people that are wired to do that.
Yep.
And there's a beauty in that selflessness, but also the double-edged sword of that is that they don't take care of themselves. They don't ever assess like, how am I doing? When was the last time I had something to eat that I really wanted and just did it just for me? And it's very hard for selfless people to be mindful of, Tori, I'm going to say it, self-care. You broke me down. You win.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes. But in certain places, self-care is important. I just don't like when it's marketed to me. See, I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just trying to say, take care of yourself. Totally. If I had Al Jackson Spa and I was like, ladies, 30% off self-care, that's when I'm like, I don't know. You see the difference? I just don't want something sold to me that is an emotional term that should be free and should be, I don't know, not monetized.
I hear that, but there's also some women, and I'm going to say this, maybe it's a little sexist, that see something that's like advertised as self-care, and that brings them a lot of joy to be like, I'm going somewhere that's, so I could see it used as branding. Do you know what I mean? It would attract a certain group. I get it. I know that's not your demo, but I do think it would attract a group that's like, let's do a girls' day for self-care, and they like the whole branding.
Shelly, I hate to cut you off, but this is really important. And I don't want to derail the show by a comment that a colleague just made, but Marcy said that I look great. So I want to skip all the stories that we had today and let's drill down on that. Thank you, Marcy.
I saw that comment. Oh God, you are a little out of focus, says Michael Dean. So that's why you look so good. It's like blurry.
Oh, see, I'll leave it on this focus then. I want a little Days of Our Lives. Okay, Tori, let's play a quick game.
Okay,
we're gonna do. You know that drinking game where like I have to say an animal that starts with A, and then you have to say one with B.
Yeah,
we're gonna do that not without alphabetical order, but just who can. Let's go back and forth. Who can name soap operas?
Okay.
All right, you start.
Okay. Days of Our Lives.
Bold and the Beautiful.
Young and the Restless.
General Hospital.
Oh, that was gonna be mine. That's really all I got. Oh, isn't there something like, is Melrose Knots Landing?
Knots Landing. And see, I wonder, and
all my children.
Oh my goodness. Now that Gabriel, that was my question. Do the primetime soaps still count as soaps? You know, because there was like Falcon's Crest,
right,
and Dallas, and they were definitely soap operas.
One Life to Live.
Are the daytime ones there? So okay,
yeah. One Life to Live was big. What was that one about? One Life to Live. Of course, we have one life to live. All right,
that was just the whole show. Just you explaining how it's such a dumb name. Yeah.
Of course.
Corey, what do you think it is about soap operas that pulled so many people in and still do to this day?
I think it's that it's very slow, so you can't really miss things. And I think that it's very comforting. There's a routine. You know the bar that they all go to. You know the house where they live. You know the workshop where they have, and it's just easy, digestible. It's like comfort food. It's just easy, digestible, a little bit of drama, but it's, I don't know. Beyond the Gates. Oh, that's right.
Is that the all black one that Tyler Perry did?
Yeah, that's a great call. I heard it was good. I heard that was good.
All right, maybe we'll start watching a soap, us and all the colleagues, and we'll just. I don't mind having something as long as the community. And let's be real, colleagues. If you guys can come together and be like, "Hey, we are all watching this. Tori and I are followers. We will watch it and we will discuss." I really want to talk about Amy Bradley is missing. I didn't tell Michael Dean that. Maybe that's a topic for another day.
I've seen it twice. I have a lot to say about it. We should keep that.
We need to talk about that because I have thoughts. Maybe if we have some time at the end of this episode. But Tori, I think maybe might be about the time that we get to our first official Spider sponsor. Are you excited?
I'm so excited, guys.
Can you tell that I can't? My mouse isn't responding. Can you tell that?
Oh no.
Hold on.
When the mouse doesn't respond, you must get more cheese.
Wow. Okay, my mouse isn't there. Michael Dean, can you put on the moving on? Our new it's in the media assets. I added it. And in the meantime,
woo!
Tori, our first official sponsor.
I'm so proud.
Yes. Woo! Thank you. This is our new Keeping It Moving segment. It will replace Over It. And Tori, can you explain, do you really know the difference of how the two segments? Because Moving On it's personal and just what you are over or what you're doing next. So if you say, hey, like for me, I'm going to say, and this is very personal, I think it's taken until this week, and it became official when I got all of my stuff moved into my storage. I'm all set up here in the condo. I think I've officially moved on from DBL because for a while I was down the street from it. So I saw it every day. I didn't even drive past reminiscingly like it was my old high school. Like those were the days. But just being that area, taking that route to work, you're in that same kind of mind state.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, and it's so symbolic that we're using Spider for this, I am moving on. I have officially like started to hear people mention this show when they talk about you and I, and it's becoming not this crazy thing Al and Tori are doing, but just a show. Like we do this. This is not going anywhere. We have control of it. And so I will just say that I am moving on from DBL with love, not moving on like you do from most relationships with spite.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really
Tori,
good.
what are you moving on from?
I'm moving on from just the treadmill. I'm starting to I got really scared of doing any exercise, and I just did the treadmill at an incline on a walk, and that was all I would do. So now I'm doing yoga, and I used to do yoga for 10 years, and I just got back into it. I've joined a community. I had the hardest yoga class in my life the other day, and it's much better for my vagus nerve, for my nervous system. So I'm all in, baby. I am moving on from the treadmill, and mama's going to the yoga. Namaste.
I mean, you're starting to get in really good shape. I don't like that because I'm not working out currently. That'll be the next thing, is for me to ever feel like I have the time to work out.
Yeah.
I don't know when that would happen or how that would happen. But I do know that I have to be mindful of my health. I think I mentioned this on Monday's show. I did a show on Sunday in Boulder, and the MC, my friend Lewis, just casually mentioned when he was on stage. I haven't seen him in a couple of months, but that's normal for comics. He's just like, oh, I had a stroke and he lost his ability to talk. Did I tell you this?
Oh my God.
My friend Lewis Beck, who's a comic here in Colorado, we've done gigs together. He's booked me for a ton of gigs. I got mad love for him. And if you would see him, he looks like a guy that like works construction. Like, he's a pretty jacked guy. And he gets on stage and he's kind of wrangling the room and just saying, hey, comedy show's about to start. And he's like, this is my first time doing comedy since I had a stroke. And I was like, me and the comics were like, what? He said that he picked his kids up. He's separated from his wife and he's driving and they're asking him questions and he couldn't answer them. They were like, Daddy, where are we going? And he didn't have the words to answer. And then he realized he didn't remember what their names were. Which is terrifying. So he drove them to his brother-in-law's house and he was like, I have to drop the kids off. And they were like, what's going on? But he didn't have the words. So he was just like, just got to go to the hospital. And they were like, whatever. Not like, but like, you got to think about it from their perspective. They just got 3 kids dropped off and they can't get an explanation as to why. He goes to the hospital and he's doing the check-in and she's like, what's your concern? And he was like, I need to go to the hospital. And she was like, you're here. What's the problem? And he said the second time he said it, the nurse was like, oh, this dude is having a stroke like right now. And so they put him in, got him. And he had, like he said, it took him like 3 months to relearn like names and how to talk. And this is a guy that's younger than me. Physically, just to look at us, is in better shape than me. And it caused him to have a lot of life changes, but it just shows you like you have to take care of yourself. So that is just something that I'm mindful of when I say I'm too busy to work out. I have to. And also, it's frustrating because I remember where I was with my working out and I know I'm going to be starting underneath the ground floor and that's hard,
But the hardest day is the first. And once you're done with that, you're back. It's like one day, just jump in the pool.
That's what they say about your first hit of crack. They say first you're going to be a little bit, a little nervous. Glass is a little hot. But then after that, Tori, you're soaring through Target.
Smooth sailing. You're up for 6 days. Good Lord. Oh my God. That's crazy.
So everybody take care of yourself. All right, Tori, speaking of taking care of themselves, let's get to the first story. Michael Dean, you are on duty. So can you give us the main story thing? Because we have to incorporate that. It is all right, Tori, why don't you lead us into our first story? And it's kind of a weird conclusion to a very grisly story that we've all been following as a country since it happened a few years ago.
I can't pronounce the last name. Is it?
I say Kohberger.
Kohberger. Okay. So Brian Kohberger was sentenced. Just so you guys know, he had to, he took a deal that the death sentence was off the table and he was sentenced today in Idaho. And I just listened and it's on my Instagram. I posted it for y'all. Some crazy statement from the family members. And I believe it was the sister, I believe so, of Keely, or a friend of Keely, but she went at him in the way we all want to go at him. She said, you snuck in like a pedophile at night. And if you know what, if Keely had been awake and you hadn't done that, she would have kicked your beep, 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 beep. She said, I know you. You're not big. You're not strong. You're not powerful. You're not famous just because someone knows your name. You're disgusting. You're low. It was like, there was no fear. It was slow. It was just beautiful in its bizarre way. Now the big deal is that he will not have to reveal anything. And as Michael Dean just said, in the Daytime Talk After Dark, he got 4 life sentences, but never has to explain why he did what he did. And Trump even said today, let's make sure the judge makes Brian tell us why. I don't know if Trump doesn't know the court, but you're not allowed. That's not how it works. But
I would guess that he doesn't know the court.
Yeah. But he's been sued enough. But I do want to ask the colleagues, if you think this is justice. He, I believe, did not speak at all and didn't give a statement or anything. That's his right at this point because of the plea deal. I think this is just awful, and leaves a terrible taste in everyone's mouth. And I don't think a plea deal should have been on the table. I don't know. I just don't think it should have been.
Tori, this is there are 2 things to kind of unpack here. One, the plea deal being hashed out with him without the consent of the families of the 4 murdered college students.
Right. And at the very end, like very late.
At the very end. And it reminds me of the first Jeffrey Epstein plea deal that happened when he was still living in Florida, in which that very sweetheart deal in Florida was laid out for him. And the families had no idea. They just found out on the news, like, oh, you didn't consult us. They didn't even consult their lawyer.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that. Like, I think that a lot of times the prosecution, or the state in this case, is terrified that they are going to do something or have done something that will blow this case. And to blow this case and to allow this person to walk by going, because I think they were worried that
this isn't the case, Al. This is a prosecution's like make your name case. This is the case in Idaho. They will remember. And to just bury it. I mean, right?
Well, I think they were scared to talk to the families, Tor, because they were scared that the family was going to go for the death penalty. And
oh yeah.
If you go for the death penalty, it's a much higher bar to clear in terms of getting a conviction.
You need unanimous. Yeah, it's a lot like that.
You need a lot of things to go on. And let's be honest, I always say rap explains everything in the world. Let's look to the Wu-Tang Clan. Cash rules everything around me. The appeals process for death penalty cases is decades long. It's incredibly expensive. And when it finally comes to pass, if it does ever come to pass, what you have is one dead, horrible person 20 or 30 years later, and you have a great expense to the state. That's them talking, not me. I'm just trying to think about what their motivations would be to be scared to prosecute such a slam dunk case such as this.
And I hear that. I do. I just want to read. Christina says, what could he even say? Even if he said why, would it make the families feel better? Is there anything he could say that could make sense? I know what you mean, because we're all here, and Christina, maybe you're right. We're all here being like itchy for some kind of result, and nothing will be good. There will be nothing that will satisfy us. I guess what I wanted was him to have to be forced to. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted him to be made to at least address the families the way they wanted. And that bothers me because he just didn't have to say anything. So I don't know. I'm
a different take on this before we move on. And that is that I don't want him to say anything. I don't want to hear anything from him. And I'll tell you why. Copycat killers. He could make a statement saying, I did this because the devil made me do it. I did this because they represented the elite class, or whatever reason that he gave. There are psychopaths that would then lock on to that reasoning, and that would become their reasoning. A lot of these people he himself was a person that became obsessed with serial killers, became obsessed with murder and homicide and forensics. And he started studying that, I believe, in college. And it's a person that has an obsessive personality. And I think any reason, excuse, verbiage, life that you give to this horrendous crime to which there is not an answer, to which there is not a reason, is only going to, it's not going to be like, oh, he'll give us a reason and us and all the colleagues will be like, oh, that makes sense. The only people it will make sense to will be the crazy people that look at him and are writing a Kohberger on their assault rifle before they go walking into a mall.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to hear from him.
Julia says, good point, Al, but also with him not speaking means that he still holds a little power of the victims' families. And I kind of hear what you said, Al, and it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, the word I was looking for is I wish he was compelled to have to say something, because the power is still feels awkward. But so just rot. I hope he rots. Sorry.
Right.
I hope he rots.
Right. And I just the other thing that I will say that will kind of almost counteract my point, but it's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it. The fact that he hasn't spoken just lends itself to 10 years from now, him doing a tell-all from jail.
Yeah, right.
That's a 4-part Netflix series, because people will watch it. We will watch it. The colleagues will watch it, and people will comment on it. And he has the kind of, I'm not saying that he had the same motives as the Menendez brothers, but what it would do would shed light on his case. It would bring him an incredible amount of fansmanship, no different than the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker had girls. Chicks were trying to get to him, trying to get Charles Manson. There are people that are insane, and they find these people, for whatever reason, compelling, attractive. They do what they can to have their children. These people get married in jail. And I could see this guy, in 10 years from now, having a wife that we now have to listen to this moron as we look at footage from their wedding with their hands pressed up against the glass. I want to hear nothing from him. I want to have him buried underneath the jail, no windows, and have a lot of time to think about it. If you don't want to talk, cool. We got a room for you where you don't have to talk to anybody, bro. I'm tired of these psychopath, bloodthirsty killers getting more coverage than so many good things going on in the world, so many interesting things or bad things that deserve more inspection. Things that were just kind of glossed over.
You know what I hope? I hope the family sued for a wrongful death in a civil suit, much like the Goldmans, which is really smart, because any money that then he makes, if they win, that settlement will have to go to them instead of him. I just, that's a really good loophole that the Goldmans famously figured out and sued for wrongful death. And again, the I Did It book, If I Did It by OJ, all that money, which is blood money, still went to the Goldmans. So it is a legal way to get money for the victim's family. So if he does decide to do that.
So. And Michael Dean just posted in the chat that he can and probably will write a book.
Oh yeah, he could definitely write a book.
But I mean, I believe it came to be discussed when John Wayne Gacy, the infamous killer, he painted.
He sold his paintings.
Right. And like people were saying, is he allowed to profit from that? Right. So I don't want to hear from this twerp at all. And I hope that he doesn't get any special treatment either. Gen Pop, they got a big fan base for guys that attack women in jail. And I hope that he meets them in the cafeteria someday very soon. All right, let us move on. Tori, our next story. We have a palate cleanser coming after this one, so let's get right to it. Michael Dean, let's talk about Jacksonville and what went on with the police situation there.
I think we have some video. Is that right?
I know he's trying to track it down.
Here we go. Exit the vehicle now. He was pulled over for his headlights not being on.
Show me your hand.
Weather.
This is ridiculous.
Now, no charges were brought. None. Sir? Watch this.
What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right.
Watch this. Keep watching.
Don't.
You see that? No charges brought against these officers.
I'm glad we showed that.
I asked Michael Dean to show it because I think our colleagues deserve to see that. Just so you know, when they pulled him over, he said, "What are you pulling me over for? I don't want to come out." and they said, for you're not having your headlights on in rainy weather. I want to be clear. It was not raining. He said it is not raining. They said, well, it's inclement weather. He then asked for them to call a supervisor. They called a supervisor. He said they spoke or they didn't call a supervisor. He kept saying, I won't get out of the car until you show me the law that says I need to have my headlights on in inclement weather. And then after he said he's not getting out of the car, call your supervisor. They smashed the window and you saw what you saw. And that is absolutely abhorrent. And no charges were filed of excessive force. Not one charge.
I'll just ask the colleagues and everybody watching. We see these videos all the times of air quotes Karens, and they're on a loop. They tell cops to go F themselves. They push back, they fight, they bicker, and they don't get assaulted like that. I don't want to see anybody be assaulted like that.
Totally.
But you have never seen a Karen get her window punched out and then catch a right hook.
Yep.
Let's say this: the brother has an iron chin because he took that, and the look on his face, Tori, really broke my heart because he just looked like, I told y'all. He's looking at the camera like, do you see what this is? And then they pulled him out. He clearly was not fighting back. His arms were behind his back, and then he took another punch to the face. So what could have led to that? Was he running away from a bank he had just robbed?
No,
had he just drunkenly mowed over 2 toddlers?
No, it was a light, Al. In inclement weather. It wasn't even raining. It was gray outside, and it was day. It was daylight. And he said there are other people on without headlights. I can get crazy upset about this because there's no enforcement of the justice. He had everything right. He asked for a supervisor. He asked for the law. He asked for the camera was on, and he still didn't get it. He still didn't get justice.
Tori, this makes me think about Finlandio Castillo, the cafeteria school worker that was murdered as Facebook the cop fired shots into the car with his wife and baby girl in the backseat. After he was asked, do you have a firearm? He said, I'm a member of what's the
NRA.
NRA. And he reached to go get his membership card, which you're supposed to have, and he was murdered.
Yeah.
And
on Facebook Live.
On Facebook Live.
Like they were doing it right, you know?
If we do a brief recounting of the young black man that was beaten to death by those black police officers, he was skateboarding. Trayvon lost his life. He was walking home from the store. This Finlandio Castillo was driving with his family. These aren't even situations.
Right.
Sandra Bland, I believe she was in Louisville. Breonna Taylor was asleep. Sandra Bland smoked a cigarette while the cop was running her license plate.
Elijah McClain was just walking.
He was walking down the street.
That's right.
We don't even have the argument of they were leaving a scene in which somebody was just shot.
Yeah.
They were running from a situation where there was an active shooter and we didn't know who was who. Those are conversations that we could have. We're talking about situations where people are not only not doing anything, they're so inconspicuous that it's hard to even get into the cop's head about what made you lock on to this person. And how is, after you're done skateboarding or walking home from the store or driving with your wife and your baby, how does that person end up dead? Like, walk me through all of those steps.
Right. Pretty Brown Mimi 726 says it's called living while black.
Living and just being seated.
Yeah.
Like we're not staying even talking.
Calm.
Yeah, right. Just staying calm. He didn't raise his voice.
He was so chill. It was, sorry. I'm so mad.
No, Tori, please. I mean, I think that everybody in the chat, including myself, are upset, but strangely, we're not surprised.
Totally.
If I don't want to see that happen to anybody, but it's just so interesting how we watch people like Trump and his people stampede through the intended law. Oh, and there's always an excuse. Oh, he can't be tried in that state. Oh, he can't. The prosecutor's not allowed to track his movements. Oh, this person was allowed to leave because we didn't have any probable cause, even though they're clearly a suspect in this person's murder. There's always an excuse why certain people walk. People they caught Ted Bundy once, let him go. They caught where the guy jumped out of the window and the cops took him back to where he was eventually killed. Maybe that was Ted Bundy or the other guy that people were dressing up like. Who was the serial killer that had the glasses that everybody wanted?
Dahmer?
Remember Dahmer? Yes. Dahmer, one of his victims escaped and they took him back. One of the I watched a documentary on John Wayne Gacy. They brought him to be questioned in the police department 3 different times. They know these people that are doing these things, but they're like, can't hold him. We can only hold him 12 hours. All these rules. But it seems like every police officer feels deputized to be judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to Black people and a simple traffic stop, which is questionable on its own merit. Yes, in El Chapo, he was in Mexico. He escaped 2 times as well. So yes, and that was a person. El Chapo was a person of incredible means. I'm just talking about regular serial killers that they're just like. Even though there was a story years ago, and I wonder if the colleagues remember this. There were 2 bank robbers. Tor, do you remember them in California? And they were the first bank robbers. They had Kevlar head to toe, and they robbed a bank and they shot it out with cops for hours because it was the first time anybody had that kind of equipment. They had like AR-15s before that was a household name. And that was really some of the reasoning that cops were allowed to increase their armor budget. But they pulled over those bank robbers. They had zip ties. They had black gloves. They had black masks. They had everything in their trunk, and the cops like, gotta let them go. They haven't done anything wrong. But Sandra Bland is dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a sick thing. And then there's no closure. There's no closure ever closure.
Well, there's always a little closure as long as Michael Dean is anywhere close to the palate cleanser, because we need it. Michael Dean, it should be like towards the bottom. Michael Dean, we might need one more of those. Can we get one more? All right, Tori, let's do a quick palate cleanser. Which one are we going to do for? Oh, my girl, Trisha Paytas. Does anybody know in the chat who that is? Because I'm curious.
I just know she gets pregnant and people die when she gives birth.
That was a very ominous intro to her. I get pregnant, people die. That's something Ivan Drago on Rocky IV should have said.
But it's true. This woman is, what is she out? What is she? Who is she?
She is a YouTube influencer that's been famous for a long time. Before we get into the story, I'll tell you, colleagues, Trisha Paytas, I didn't know who she was either. This must have been.
I didn't know until yesterday.
Right. This is probably because I've been in Denver now since 2017. So this must have been probably 2014. When I was in LA, I got a call from my old manager, and he was like, the Improv is doing this interesting experiment where they took YouTube influencers and comedians and they paired them, and they were going to have these YouTube influencers do a stand-up set. And so it should have told me how big influencers were, because in 2014, people still didn't really know. I didn't know. The event sold out in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. There was like 5 influencers. One of them was Trisha Paytas. I was matched up with her. And I think she kind of liked me because I didn't know who she was. It's like that famous story, that guy that sat next to Prince on that flight, and Prince just loved it. This older white guy was like, oh, it's skinny black dude, you know? She was telling me about, like, even back then, like how important it was to have a community. And I was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, do you want to see something? And I was like, sure. She and I took a selfie. Yeah, that's her. And she took her phone. She took a selfie of us. She put it on her Instagram. She put her phone face down. We talked for like another 2 minutes. And she was like, pick my phone up and tell me how many likes we have. And I looked at her phone. I almost fell off my bar stool. It was at 17,000 likes.
Wow.
In like 90 seconds, Tori.
Wow.
She has a super crazy fanatical fan base, to the point that when we walked into the showroom where the comedy show was going to take place, I could hear people. It was like Robin Williams walked in the room in 1983. People were like, oh, there she is. Be cool. Be cool. That's her. Oh my God. Oh, take a picture. Like, I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, I had never seen people react like this. Wow. So I hope that explains. She just really like kind of talks about sex openly.
Okay.
But
yeah, she kind of looks like a young Charo. I like Shelly who said that. So apparently when she gives birth, every time someone dies. And so I think the Pope died last time. And it's become this like internet tradition I didn't know of. And she gave birth right when, was it Ozzy or Malcolm? Oh, Queen Elizabeth died. It's very strange. The internet's such a weird place. But anyway, she it was Ozzy Osbourne, and a lot of people were hoping for other people, and they were mad when Ozzy died instead.
They were hoping other people died so that it would go into Trisha Paytas' baby.
I didn't know that the body goes and soul goes into, and I think, Michael, into her kids. By the way, her kids' names, one of them I think is Aquaman.
Aquaman and
what is
something that? Malibu Barbie, or is it just Malibu and then one other? They're named after action figures.
No, it's Malibu Barbie. Oh my God.
Yeah. And Elvis. Elvis is the black sheep. So yeah, you talk about the internet and you talk about communities, and we have a community here with our colleagues, but there are also communities that form around craziness.
That's crazy.
And if you find like-minded people, it seems like they are harmless for the most part. And they have all, like, she is like their female Jesus, and that is not overstating it at all, Tori. Not at all. They are obsessed with her, and those people are not saying this tongue in cheek. They really think that those spirits are in those children. It's
oh my God. And I do want to say Marcy is correct. This does happen every day. People give birth and people die. So it's odd that we've chosen to do this. But you know what? The internet has chosen this Aqua Woman mom, and that's what's going on. So anyway, watch out for her next pregnancy.
I do want to say this before we end this, Tori. It shows the narcissism of human beings that, you know, they're like, okay, when Jimi Hendrix died, like, oh, his spirit went into my kid. It's never just a regular dude. It's never like, you know, Don, he's a pipe fitter in Connecticut. That's my baby girl now. Like, it's never just like a regular. It's always like the king of Egypt,
Michelangelo,
is my son's uncle. It's like, dude, everybody can't be tied to royalty. It's like,
no, it's so true.
Yeah,
somebody was just nobody.
All right. Well, let's get to another main story, and it involves a woman who is also a monster. Also a pedophile.
Oh.
We are talking about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh.
Tori, her name is being recirculated yet again because they are playing around with the idea, at least Trump's defense attorney, that in this case is working on behalf of the United States to get a confession or get her to voice testimony about what she knew about the Epstein case. You can tell by the way that they're saying, I saw Alan Dershowitz on Fox News, and he was saying, we got to get Ghislaine. She's got all the answers. She is. Would you not be teeing her up to be this credible source if you didn't know what she was going to say to her?
Well, usually, no. Any lawyer, and Dershowitz is a very famous lawyer, would never say that unless he already knew the answer.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people are talking about this. Trump will bribe her. She wants a pardon. I don't trust Ghislaine as far as I can spit. I wonder, will it be a closed hearing in the Congress, so we don't get to have those details? I assume it'll be closed. I can't imagine they're going to have an open hearing with Ghislaine Maxwell, but I think she'll lie. I just don't. I mean, I don't get why she's not.
Tori, what would be her incentive to lie? Please tell the people.
Well, her testimony could cause her to be investigated and could cause there to be further she could be first of all, she probably would take the fifth on just a lot of things to not self-incriminate. She was really mixed up in this, but I don't know. I think
she could negotiate for a shorter sentence. That's what I was thinking.
By giving up. But Congress isn't a trial. Like, that's not a trial. That's to get information to start an investigation.
They don't care about a trial, Tor. The trial is happening every second in the public. And they need somebody directly attached to this case to say, hey, y'all, never met this Trump guy, maybe met him once. When I saw him, all he kept saying is, I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, and that's all I know about Trump. Thank you, good night. That's what they want from her, because they need to extinguish this fire that is raging. And I
don't think that will extinguish anything. Okay.
You don't think that might at least help the credibility along with some of the base to kind of put this aside? Because all they need is for her to say, I don't know Trump like that. He wasn't into that. It was just me and Jeffrey. It was mostly Jeffrey.
Because Pam Bondi I was just going to say, alerted that Trump, I think back in May or spring, that Trump, his name did appear in the Epstein files. I don't think you can Teflon this away, even with Ghislaine Maxwell. There's too much getting hooked and too much interest, and you can't, for some reason, you just can't bullshit this one out. And I don't know why. I don't know why we could bullshit the Sharpie. I don't know why we could bullshit throwing paper towels at hurricane victims or lying about everything else. But this one, they're just, even strong MAGA people are saying, we would like to know, are you the deep state, or are you trying to get us out of the deep state? Because he campaigned on trying to get us out of the deep state, and now it's terrible. In prison, she's had a lot of time to think, and I think she'd tell the truth. I totally disagree. I think she is a psychopath who sex trafficked young women and underage children, and I don't think she has a conscience at all. I think she's a terrible psychopath and a horrific human being and would never get a conscience. She's just trying to save herself. That's how I feel.
Right, and I think that's where her testimony comes in, because you can tell just when I saw that Dershowitz trial, it's so interesting how I would say politically savvy us regular folks are now, where as soon as I saw Alan Dershowitz on Fox, he was only there to talk about Ghislaine. And you could tell by the way that he's setting her up, they are going to be like, all right, you guys wanted it. We got the closest living person to this story, the person that was the Bonnie to his Clyde. And we don't know what she's going to say. We're just going to give her the microphone. And she'll come out there. She'll say Trump didn't have anything to do with this, but Bill Clinton, but Democrat X, but Bill Gates. She'll name all the people that they don't like. It will be conspicuous that Trump is off, but if they give them enough red meat, I think it'll be enough to make this go away, especially if they see Democrats going down for this.
Look, I think that's really red meat. I completely agree with you. I think this is an aberration in the Trump world. And this Epstein thing is, why is Trump's name on the list? We now know it is. We all assumed it was. We've seen more pictures of Trump with Epstein than there are trans athletes in college. Okay.
Did you see the picture of him at his wedding in 1993?
Yeah. And with Melania, with Epstein, I mean, their friendship goes way back, and people want answers. And it's not just Democrats. It's people on the other side saying, these are young children. These are daughters. And also, you're the guy supposed to expose everyone. You campaigned on it. What's happening? Why is your name on that list? I do, by the way, Pretty Brown Mimi says, I think Bill Clinton is on the list. Boo-boo. I love Bill Clinton. I loved him in the 90s. I definitely think he's on that list. I
don't even think the Clintons are really disputing that.
Yeah, I so agree with you. So it's both sides here, but I think people want to know about Trump on that list. I really do.
Well, Torin, I'm just going to let you know this. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but if it dies, you're going to have to take the rest of the show.
What?
I don't know my mouse stopped working and it's just acting very weird. So
I think we'll end
we're
the show
good.
if you are off.
No, I want to see you. I'm gonna log on
I
my
think
phone and just watch you
I think we're
struggle.
good. No. Oh my
So
God.
yeah, I'm anxious to see where that's going to lead us. All right, let's move on to Scooter Braun. We're going to talk about this quickly. He said basically, if you guys remember, Scooter Braun was famously he was Taylor's manager agent.
No, he was in charge of owning the records, I believe. The record label.
He was
He
the
owned the
record label exec
Yeah.
that brokered the merger to buy her her masters, right? Her original recordings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys remember, we covered this story way back. Taylor then went on to tell her fans that this corporate entity had purchased her soul, basically purchased her original work, her art,
Without her
unbeknownst to
permission.
her, without her permission, unbeknownst to her, and proceeded to re-record those masters, making the ones that they sold basically irrelevant because people wouldn't listen to those. People only bought and listened to the re-recorded songs that were you know, they didn't listen to the one Scooter Braun had. They listened to the done over originals by Taylor Swift. Scooter Braun was saying this is a foul business practice. It'd be like me selling my burger joint that was successful to Tory, and as the sales going through, I'm like, hey colleagues, the whole time that there were roaches in the kitchen. That's like a dirty business practice. I know there's like a real term for that, but that business practice, you know, you can't do that. You can't sell a business to somebody and then tell the people that frequent that business that it's no good and you should not support it. So it was this whole back and forth, but now he says in the end, everybody ended up winning. So Tori, what do you think about this? And put a cap on this story. What do you think about Taylor's motivations, and if she could do it over, do you think she would?
Yeah, I guess he's coming out and saying that I guess maybe they didn't tell Taylor when we were going to sell and rebuy and sell this is such a confusing thing, but he's saying Taylor wasn't made aware that he was going to try and sell back the records, I believe.
Do you believe that? Do you believe
No,
that?
I don't. I have no thought in my mind.
It seems hard to believe, right?
Yeah, I know Taylor Swift since 2006. I followed her since the beginning. She's always been like massively in charge of her whole team. She always has her name in the game. She does not just walk away from the table like that. That was her soul. So I just don't think that's true. And I think Scooter Braun is just like, no one speaks well of this dude. Nobody. Like from Kesha to like down to like, I mean, it's just not a good look that Scooter Braun has, not a great reputation. So I choose to believe Taylor. She did re-record. And when I say, hey, Siri, play Taylor, which it might, I always say the Taylor versions because that's the smart thing that she did. And you know who gave her that idea, Al? Kelly Clarkson tweeted at her and said, hey, Siri, stop.
Is it playing it?
Yeah. But Kelly Clarkson's like, hey, if you re-record all of your masters, I'll buy them. And so every time she let out a new one, she sent Kelly Clarkson a huge bouquet of flowers. So it's just a really interesting way that she did the loophole. Yeah.
Well, Tori, let me ask you, because it sounds like you are coming at it from both directions. It's like you think it was a very smart business move for her to re-record her originals and sell them to Kelly Clarkson, whatever arrangement. But also, you don't believe that she did not know that her masters were being sold. I think you can make the argument that Taylor Swift is, if not the most savvy artist that has ever lived.
You think she knew and didn't win and then lied?
I just think that
Maybe.
It's hard for me to believe that anybody on her team would be like, let's do this, but not tell Taylor. That would be like doing that to Beyonce. Like, you would be the balls on you to even try that. Taylor Swift has been, every issue that has come up, she has been on the right side of it. Early, she was on the right side of Me Too. She she made the perfect switch from country to pop. She's been politically savvy, not losing her base, but also letting people know where she stands. She puts on a hell of a show. incredible artist, gives her people what she wants, what they want. And I find it hard to believe that the same person had no clue that their entire catalog was being sold without their knowledge. As a compliment to her, because I feel like there's nothing she doesn't know, much less that.
If it is, if she's lying about not knowing, it would be the first lie in which she's ever been caught. She's kind of a do-good.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's a lie.
It just doesn't follow.
Maybe I mean, it just doesn't make sense either way.
Yeah,
because she didn't do it for the publicity.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Between Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift, I'm buying Taylor Swift's story. Now, I could be being sold a blonde, curly-haired lie, but for over 20 years, I've listened to this woman, and I haven't seen her act in a way that I've heard other artists kind of call out Scooter Braun for.
Right.
So look, I think the music business is super shady. Someone said that as well, and I'm gonna trust Taylor on this one, but maybe I'm getting hosed.
Wait, did you say a blonde, curly-haired lie?
Yeah, like what if she's totally hosing me and lying and she didn't know about it and she put down Scooter Braun, and I'm just saying, like, maybe that is a lie.
That's not a saying.
No, but she's blonde and she had like wavy hair.
But you never associate that with lying.
No, I'm saying she could be a big lie.
So if I lie to you, am I giving you a short, curly, black-haired lie?
No, that would be different. Very different. I think Taylor usually tries
turn of phrase
to do what's best for everyone. Yeah, and I just haven't heard the best things about Scooter Braun. So I'm
okay. I want to get to this because I don't know where my battery's at, and I think this is super interesting. Let's keep talking about our girl Taylor Swift. Her boyfriend, Super Bowl legend, future NFL Hall of Famer, Travis Kelce, referred to himself as her pretty woman, meaning like basically he's the hooker. Just do people still use that term, a hooker? How old am I?
Do you want to know what the term hooker came from? Does anyone care?
No.
It's really interesting.
What is it?
In I believe the Revolutionary War, General Hooker would go to camps, and whenever he went to forts or camps, he had a lot of women that followed him, and they became known as the hooker girls, or then shortened to hookers.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Oh, all right.
So it started with
what other terms do you know for hookers?
Well, I mean, I can't. No, but that's how the name hooker got the name, from General Hooker.
There's like women of the night.
Yeah.
Like
I know what a hooker is.
I know. I'm just trying to think of the other terms that there are.
Oh, good.
Good. I don't know. Okay.
So that's cool. That was cool.
If it's true, very cool.
Oh my God, Sylvia.
I don't know if you're telling me a short, curly, blonde lie.
Oh my God, it is absolutely true. It came from General Hooker.
What war did he fight in?
Revolutionary War. I said that in the beginning, and he had ladies follow him into different camps, and they're like, "Hey, those are the hooker girls."
So he was the Rick James of generals.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So General, get them girls. Gave us the term hooker. Now, Tori, I have to ask you. He was saying this tongue in cheek.
Oh, Civil War. Excuse me.
Oh, so now we don't know the war. Okay.
It was Civil War. I'm sorry. He was a Union general.
What's the difference?
Joe Hooker.
Joe Hooker. That sounds like a lie. Where were you last night? I was at Joe Hooker's house. I'm going to call his mom. She's not. She's at work.
Mama Hooker.
Mama Hooker don't like people calling her phone. So, Tori, Travis Kelce may have unknowingly pitched a movie idea. So would you watch a Pretty Woman idea, but flip-flopped?
I first thought you meant Pretty Woman, but they both wore flip-flops. And I was like, I don't think so. But I now know what you mean. If the male or the female switched.
Yes. Do I need to get a dry erase board and write this down for you?
I need a red line.
This would...
like a cork board. So instead of Pretty Woman, it'd be Pretty Man.
Right.
So I would watch.
I could see that.
I think it could be sexy. I think you could do it with Zac Efron and make it really, really, you could make it pretty perverse and like kind of like an interesting take on today's society. I think it would have Me Too conversation starting. I just think that'd be an interesting take in 2025.
You could push the narrative sex work is work. You could show the female empowerment that she's like, I don't I would like to have a romantic relationship, but I don't have
Yeah.
time because I run 3 companies. So
Right.
I'm going to pay for this service that is legal and this person is offering. So if
Right.
you
And
can
I'm
have
the
a sugar
breadwinner.
mama,
Right.
you can have a sugar daddy, right?
That's right. That's right.
I
I think it'd
told
be
you,
interesting.
did I tell you when I went to the Dominican Republic and me and my boy Quay, we were on the beach in the DR and we're just kind of looking, and you just see like Midwestern American women walking past with like 18-year-old Dominican models, got 8-packs. And after a while, we asked our guy that was bringing us drinks from the cabana, we were like, what's going on here? And he, like, in broken English, he was like, your women come down here. And I was like, oh. And what I said about the island story,
I
what you
do
doing
remember.
down there?
That's good.
It's not just the beach.
Amy says this could be a show for the colleagues to watch together. This is hysterical that you said that, Amy. And Marcy said, gorgeous gentleman. If anyone has does anyone have a name other than gorgeous gentleman or pretty man for the movie that it would be called?
Let's see. Hot for Hunk.
That's so bad. What if it was called Joe Hooker?
What if it was called Cash for Azz, but it's AZZ? You could still put it on a marquee.
That is so bad.
I don't know.
God.
I think Sugar Mama would be actually a good title because it's a term that's in our culture. It's not, you could put it on the marquee and little kids won't be like, what's that? But it's kind of defines the movie.
Okay, so we got I could see that. We got Sugar Mama from Al. We got Gigolo from Shelly. That's not bad. We got Tremendous Travis from Marcy Coon.
Oh,
and
Mr. Right Now. I love that.
Whoa, that's good. I bet you Michael Dean's on ChatGPT. How about Gigolo
Whoever
Man?
wrote Pretty Mansplaining that's great. That's a Tory.
That is
I'm
good.
telling you, Just Me's Fun Hub is moving in on your block, Tory. You gonna take that? That is a good one, Just Me.
That is really good. That's really good.
All right, so Tory, we're running short on time. I think literally on my battery and in real life. So how about this, Tory? Let's get to I want to get to this bridesmaid story. Let's do that really quickly. And Tory, when's the last time? Okay, there we go. Bride demands friend pay for bachelorette party or get booted. Tory, thoughts?
Pay for the whole bachelorette?
I think so. Is that a tradition where
Yeah, I mean, whenever I had to go to a bachelorette party, and I got to be honest, it's so much money because you pay for your trip, you pay for your whatever. And now it's in like Palm Springs, or it's never like when I got engaged and I had my bachelorette, I rode a bull on like where Sam worked at like what was it? Saddle Ranch, Now people are going to Costa Rica and they're going anyway, and then you pay for the bride and then you pay for the drinks and then you pay for the food, and it's a lot. So it's, I guess, valued over $500. It was going to cost every bridesmaid that amount. So yeah, that's kind of normal, to be super honest.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy. Do you guys agree? Am I wrong?
Ain't nobody got money for that in this economy.
I know. I would never do that in this economy either. It's a lot. Being a bridesmaid, you pay for your dress, the alterations, the plane trip, the bachelorette, the gift. It's like enough. It's like, let me get some rest.
Yeah, this is I think this has jumped the shark, and I think it's also a little bit, there's not as good of a term as, what do you call that when people like mom shaming happens, where they're like, oh, you got your daughter a bike, we got our daughter a car. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess this is how you live, Tory. No problem. Some people are poor. Now it's kind of done that with bridesmaids, where it's like, oh, you went to ride a mechanical bull. That is really fun. That's so cute. We're in Palm Springs.
Totally.
We're at the circular penthouse suite. I'm sure your bull was fun. We'll text you on our way from our limo ride from the airport. It's the one-ups personship that I think we're seeing that has led us to this, where now not only can the bride not afford it, but neither can the bridesmaid. So maybe we tamp it down a little bit.
Yeah, tamp it down.
All right. Pretty Brown Mimi says she got to go. And Tori, so do we. So Tori, let everybody know really quickly. We are pre-recording the show for tomorrow. Please watch it anyway. Tori's got something she's got to do.
I hope your battery lasts, but we'll talk after.
Yes, well, we need to tell our colleagues so they're not showing up. Okay, so it'll be a pre-tape show. So please make sure to watch it. It will be funny, I promise. And obviously, we'll be back here Monday. I definitely will. I'm still looking for a replacement for Tori, but we'll talk about that Monday.
I love you guys. Thanks so much for your support. And I'll see you guys.
I love the colleagues. I love you too, Tor. Bye. Michael Dean. I'm just saying.